Hey everybody, Easy Penny Shopping here, and we are doing something a little bit different. So, as always, feedback, good or bad, is definitely appreciated. So, you all have asked me a lot about reselling, and I have talked about it briefly, not very much, and I decided, you know what, I need to do a series on reselling. So, this is basically going to be round one of I don't know, a resell series that we're going to do. One of the biggest mistakes we make, I said we, as penny and clearance shoppers, I've had this stuck in my head for like a week. If we're not helping, we're hoarding. Yes, that's the truth. You know it, I know it. We go out there with the best of intentions, and I know a lot of us do really well at donating and such, but then there's when we don't do well with reselling, and so then it just starts piling up. And I know a lot of you have storage units, and I am not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm trying to be honest. We've got to stop. Like, the point of doing this is to help people, whether it's to help our own families financially, to help other families financially, get out there and sell that stuff for $1. But don't make shopping another expense for you. And number two would be sucky signs. You got to get people there. And with just a few remodel penny items, you can make the perfect signage. All right, so I didn't plan on doing this in the rain, but hey, it's starting to rain, and I guess it's actually kind of a good example. So, when it comes to yard sales, signs are super duper duper important, and there's a number of reasons why. But the main reason is, if you don't get people to your yard sale, if they don't know how to get there, then you're not gonna sell anything, right? So we're gonna talk about what yard sale signs are gonna stand out. It's all about color, all right? It's all about dark colors on light colors. You don't want to do the same color on another color. But keep in mind, this is us standing still. You also have to think, people are driving and trying to look at these signs. So your sign needs to be easy to read. This would be an example of keep it simple, stupid. All right, I don't know. Anybody else hear that growing up? Because I did a lot. So, first off, I always go with the vertical, all right? Reason being, as you can already tell, the wind, right? You go with it this way, unless you are going to tape that puppy or nail that puppy all the way around, it's going to blow. And you're not going to be able to read it as you're driving by, depending on the way the wind's blowing. Now, obviously, this tree is a little bit bigger than a light pole, but still the same thing. So I always stick with the vertical, okay? On top of that, you don't want to put a bunch of information on your directional signs, all right? If you have different things listed of what you're gonna have at the sale, you can't read it as you're driving. If they wanna come to your sale, all they need to know is there's a sale, the address, and the date and the time, okay? Basics. That's what should go on your actual signage that you're putting on light poles or throughout your community. Now, what you put online is a different story. Or if you take individual flyers into gas stations or laundromats or different things like that. But as far as you're driving by looking at a sign, it has to be legible, okay? Legible. And our kitty is hanging out on my other sign. Okay, hey kitty. So, I'm not even very far away, but the further away you get, the more you're gonna catch it, right? See? How can you tell? The bottom one, now, consider you're moving, right? You're moving and you're trying to read this sign and it has all these extra words. I don't know. I don't know what it said. Was that the address? What'd that say? There you go. Stick with black and white, yellow and black. That's even blue and yellow. Don't go with dark on dark because it's not going to stand out. And do not load your directional signs down with information. The only other thing I would do different, I did these literally in 5 minutes. Putting an arrow, you also want to make sure that you are putting them in the appropriate places. So a lot of times I won't put my arrow on until I'm literally driving around and putting the sign up, because I'll make 5 signs with the arrow going one way and then I go to put it up and it's pointing the wrong way. So the only different thing I would do on this one is move this down, move my address down, and make a directional arrow. All right? This does not have to be fancy. Look, it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be special lettering. Nothing. I literally used a fat Sharpie marker and I went over it twice to make it just a little bit thicker. That's it. You got to keep it simple. You just got to get them there. Once they get there, then they're going to see all the treasures you have, and then they're going to want to buy it all up. Even though basic black and white is boring, along with red and white, I mean, yes, it is what it is. But the point is, on directional signs, is people being able to see them. So you always want to do dark on light, light on dark. That's what's going to stand out the most. And that's what's going to get the most people there. So this would just be another basic example that you can totally copy. Just make sure your address is actually the most important. So you want it to be the largest. Obviously, you want yard sale or sale to be legible, and also the day and time. And the next sale mistake that I want to talk about that is a really big one is when and where to have your sale. All right. So if you're not in a flea market setting or a swap meet setting where the advertisement is already done for you, the crowd is already coming, then you have to advertise for yourself. And it's not as simple as just putting stuff out in your front yard. And putting up a couple signs, unless you are in a very busy area that there are just yard salers driving around all the time looking for good deals. It's going to be very hit and miss. So over the years of reselling, I have figured out to follow the crowds. Okay, so if you are in a suburb or community, they have community sales or actual subdivision sales, or okay, you want to get into group sales. So if you're having a neighborhood sale, that's going to bring more traffic than just your one sign, right? Because again, part of that's being advertised by somebody else, okay? More people come out for sales if there's going to be a group of them versus just one. People literally will take off work on a Friday to go hit up community sales, town-wide sales. I don't know what all in city other than, neighborhood sales, block sales. But then in the country, again, I typically, when I lived in the country versus in town, I would still travel to my nearest small town and set up at a friend's house or a family member's house or whatever it may be, because you could still advertise for them to drive an extra 10 miles, 20 miles, but the chances of that happening. So you want to be within a couple miles of the action, right? You want them to hit these 3 yard sales. Okay, no, you want them to hit your yard sale first and spend all their money there, but you want them to be able to hit your sale along with 5 other sales, and then that's obviously going to get them out there more. You're going to have a larger variety of people. There are people that every weekend they yard sale. Yes, you're going to have those diehard people, but you also have the ones that only come out for the group sales. Again, you want to maximize your time. Yard sales are not easy, or flea markets or swap meets. That is a lot of work on you. And so you want to get rid of as much as possible. And another basic that you can just incorporate the directional arrow and actually put writing in the directional arrow and add some color if you'd like. I still have not heard from our $20 cash winner, and it's been almost a week. So please comment below. What did you think about this video? Good, bad, and I'll enter you into another drawing for $20.